Okay, I'd like to introduce you to Vinay Gunther. He's the International Director of Gestalt Therapy. And he used to, when we knew him, he was the Director of Australian Gestalt Therapy.
Northern Rivers.
But can I say, where have you been the last 5 years?
I've been in China. I live in China now, so I come to visit Australia, but based in Shanghai.
And the way that we know Vinay, Stephen, is because he bought some of our paintings and put them in the Gestalt Institute in Lismore. Yeah. So that's interesting. And your daughter still lives there, doesn't she?
Well, the one daughter's here in Sydney, yeah.
And another daughter?
Another daughter's down the South Coast now.
Oh, now the South Coast,
That's
okay.
Right.
And this is Reverend Ray Minicon here. Just to make, yeah.
Nice to meet
And
you.
Ray is the Reverend in Redford.
I'm in Elaine now.
Leave, okay, nice spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Redfern's a bit changed, hasn't it?
Oh my goodness.
It's gentrified.
It's very strange. I moved to Redfern in 1979, and it's still, rough area. People say, "Oh, you live in Redfern." Oh, and you're like, "Oh, you live there, and people are people." And
It was the heart and soul of Sydney.
that's right. Yeah, it really had some character then.
Yeah, it's lost its soul now.
Yeah. All that reminiscing, but yeah, it was something. It was a great place.
That's colonisation for you.
That's right. Well, it's progressive. It continues, unfortunately.
Yes.
So, well, we were just chatting before about mutual friend Gubu Ted Thomas, who was a wonderful Aboriginal elder and down Wallaga Lake, and he 1979, I think 79, 80, he started running the Renewing of the Dreaming camps, which invited white fellas to participate and learn something about Koori culture, and he was very generous. He shared a lot and kind of inspired us and helped us understand the connection with the land. He took us up Dromedary Mountain and a few places and did some ceremony with us, and it was a great experience. Every year in spring for about 6 or 7 years he'd do those camps, and I was very keen in attending them as a young man. So I've got a fondness going back a long way for Aboriginal issues and Aboriginal people. I was Maureen, the Aboriginal poet. I was lucky to be friends with her back in those Redfern days. So here comes Gordon.
Yeah, so we're here to celebrate because we sold Judgment by His Peers
Well done.
to the National Gallery. Adrian Newstead did.
How much?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Gordon is very forgetful now. That's a good way to describe it.
Sure.
So every time I tell him, he gets a thrill all over again,
Fantastic.
which is really exciting.
That's good.
For me, anyway, because Gordon, it was $250,000.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And Adrian valued it back in 2009. Philip Ruddock asked to have it valued.
Right.
And he actually presented it to Parliament House to buy it.
Wow.
And they rejected it.
Who presented?
Pardon?
Who presented the Parliament House?
Adrian Newstead. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon.
Philip Ruddock.
Yeah, Honourable Philip Ruddock did.
Philip Ruddock went.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's, you can understand stirs people up. I can understand that some people would have a reaction, because, it's obviously very political, and I mean, that's what I love about this art. It's so many clear, strong political statements, unapologetic, and it's also art at the same time, which is a very powerful combination.
Well, Philip Ruddock, we never have tried to be political. We've tried to be friends with everybody and leave politics out of our Aboriginal Museum, the left and the right. And Philip's actually been a patron now for a long time, since 2011, 2012, and he really helped us a lot.
Well, there's different kinds of politics. There's politics that can get dirty and muddy and mudslinging, and there's politics which is just statements about history and facts, as a lot of these paintings represent. And I think that kind of politics is important. The politics of remembering, and the politics of acknowledging, what's happened, and the long history of Australia and the colonial history. I mean, for me, these are amazing representations of that and present a unique view. That's what I also really appreciate. You can write a lot of words, but the pictures are very powerful.
So do you remember Vinay? Do you remember from a long time ago?
20 something years ago,
I know.
when we went into a gallery in Bangalore. Yeah.
Yeah, but you were in a film as well.
That's right, at the
You were,
time.
What do you want to hang on?
yeah, I want to, because I want you to look at Vinay. And you want to participate. Vinay had nice things to say about you. He asked you questions one time about the fairies.
Yeah, I love those fairies. I've got a black fairy in our house, in our home in Shanghai. It's a piece of Australia. We appreciate that.
Yeah, he bought a lot of paintings, actually, too. And one important one of Invasion Day, and you put that in the Gestalt Institute.
I did, and then when the Gestalt Institute finished, I put it in the house in Tasmania. That's where it is at the moment.
Okay.
Wonderful picture,
That's a really big painting. Yeah.
I mean,
And a lot of things have happened since then, because we stayed in touch with Vinay in China, not for a few years, because we didn't have the internet where we lived in Magnetic Island for at least 6 years.
Wow.
And our phone access was terrible. We had to drive several miles just so I could call the kids.
Okay.
It was so isolated. That's off Townsville. And so when we did get back in touch, I told Vinay that you couldn't paint anymore. That was in 2022, about 4 years ago. And that because you had cataracts and you couldn't see, everything was out of focus. You couldn't see enough to paint.
Terrible for a painter. Yeah.
And it's the worst thing. Well,
Where's my cataracts now?
okay, so I explained that we were very, very poor, extremely poor, on an age pension, and we did own our own home, but we had decided to sell it at that time probably, but it took us that long to move to Melbourne. And also, you had painted on all the walls in the house, and we had all those walls cut out now, and we have them in our home in Melbourne. Like, we cut the walls out.
Oh, is that what you did?
And we brought them with us when we moved.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and so now Gordon can look at them. So, so what happened was I told Vinay that we couldn't afford to get, and he was on a long waiting list to get the cataracts fixed. So Vinay was upset about it. And the first thing he did was buy some paintings, I remember, a few more, from us, thinking that would help, but it was quite a few $1,000s to have again. And nobody wanted to do an operation because you have to have insurance. When you don't have private insurance, they don't want to take a risk, even if you pay cash. It's a risk. So Vinay called up, I think it was someone in Perth. Do you know who it was?
I can't remember, but yes, it's a doctor who was interested in social medicine, who cared about more than just his pocket, and was already doing, I think, that kind of work, helping Aboriginal people and other people in poor circumstances.
Yeah. So all of a sudden we got a call from that guy, and then we got a call from a local ophthalmologist that was probably the head of the department. And all of a sudden, within 2 or 3 weeks, Gordon had an operation on the right eye, it had his cataract fixed. So he could see perfectly. And I can't tell you when he came in the door, because I had just had a knee replacement, and my arm was in a cast, my right arm, and my daughter, the one in Melbourne, had flown up there, and she picked up Gordon from the hospital. I couldn't even go to the hospital, and he walked in, and he looked at me and flashed such a smile, and the tears came, both of us. So I appreciate you doing that so much. And now he's on a waiting list for the second one. And that's, that was 2 years ago, so he's still on the waiting list for the second one.
Yeah.
So it'd be good if you called that guy.
Yeah, maybe I will. It's a long time to wait for a cataract, just because you don't have the money. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Renee.
Yeah.
It's nice to have people help you and believe in you. And we've had a whole bunch of patrons, a large group of influential people, and some people aren't as influential help us. So Vinay is a patron, and we've decided to sell our museum collection and just make a book about it, and not try anymore to reopen the museum to the public, and hope that sometime there will be an Aboriginal museum in Australia that's freestanding. And Gordon always used to say he wanted to have Aboriginal security guards. Aboriginal.
Yes.
And if you look at that painting over there, it's all named. You know, that's a self-portrait. That plate around his neck, that has number 13 on it. That was Gordon's number in prison. And for people that don't know that, in prison they take away your name, and you answer to like number 27 or, and Gordon you had to answer to 13, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you talking about it, and it's good to be able to talk about these things that are painful subjects or people are ashamed about or something, because when you talk about it or paint about it, it takes the shame away, it puts it into the public discourse, it shows that it's more than just a personal issue, it's a social issue, a historical issue, and it's something we all are a part of.
Yes. And the incarceration rate is so high now.
Yeah, very painful fact that still hasn't been altered, and so obviously something's still very wrong in our colonial society. It's still colonial in a whole bunch of ways, which is very unfortunate. So that's also why I appreciate this art, because it's standing out and shocking people, but in a beautiful way, and hopefully, the effect of that is ultimately a positive one, to realise that this is not just past history or something that we can kind of look away from, but to keep in mind that all this really matters, and this is the ground that we stand on, Aboriginal ground.
That painting there is right there, Gordon. If you turn around and look at it, right there. Yeah. See, this is the Queen looking in the mirror. What's happening? And there's a red coat. When he used to, sometimes he would put a red coat down in the bottom, like where birds, and he said that's where red coats lie. So it was a pun on
On the line, yes. Yeah.
So,
I met red coats in prison.
Yeah.
They were in charge.
Yeah, that's right. The modern version. Yeah, still white people in charge.
They had a red coat mentality, though.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Well, that's right. Some things haven't changed that much, unfortunately.
No.
And, I guess what's unique for me about this collection and Gordon's work is that there's the whole range. There's strong political statements and memorialising important aspects of our history, bad and, you know, good, and then also very beautiful pieces that are kind of whimsical and kind of, you know, give you a sense of nature or of the beauty of a circle of Aboriginal women sitting in the wildflowers and of the Aboriginal woman dancing. So that there's joy in there as well, and there's kind of a sense of connection with the natural world, which comes alive in these paintings.
Vinay has a way with words. He's describing your paintings.
That's right.
I love them, mate. They're fabulous. I really appreciate them.
Yeah. And so this one's an Invasion Day, and I think the Victoria Gallery of Victoria has put a hold on that one.
Fantastic.
And it is beautiful with the Invasion Day here, and then as you move into the outback, you see all of the Mimi spirits watching over the land and the beautiful flannel flowers and birds. So it's a positive painting that we can still look after the land, I suppose, and keep it.
Well, and I mean, for me, that's one of the unique things about Gordon's work is the black fairies. I mean, I don't think anybody else has done that I know of. And you know, that's your creation, your inspiration, and I think that it's fabulous, the whole reversal of white fairies into black fairies and the celebration of them and the spirits of the bush, and like it's just fabulous, you know. I think that there's something quite special about that, and every time I see those black fairies, my heart gives a little bump, and I'm like, yeah, it's really cool. So they're you know, the patrons in some way, the original patrons, and they're still there in your paintings.
Well, thank you very much, Vinay, for coming to visit from China all the way. I know you came to visit your daughters as well, and other friends here, so we appreciate you coming to the gallery and taking the time to come and see us. And thank you for being a patron and believing in Gordon for all this time.
Yeah, I appreciate, you know, that when I first walked into that gallery in Bangalore 20-something years ago, just immediately like, wow, what is this? This is something special. How come this is out the back in a little shed? I mean, I've always just been moved by the work, so I'm really glad that, you know, there's a groundswell of support, and finally some museums are getting it, and the Parliament, you know, that really touches me that this is becoming, more people are able to see it and experience it. So, you know, thank you for all your work, and thank you to the man himself.
Thank you.
Okay.